Wolfman is finally coming out next week. It had previously been scheduled for a pre-Halloween release on October 25th, 2024, but Universal announced that it would delay its original 2024 release date by 3 months, and now it's finally going to hit theaters on January 17th. It would have been great if it was released back in October to chase that Halloween movie hype. The movie is projected to gross around $25 million opening weekend and around $67 million total domestically, according to Box Office Theory. This Wolfman movie would be the 7th Wolfman movie if you count the original 5 from the Universal Monster film series and the 2010 Wolfman remake. There are also more Wolfman movies if you count the Alvin and the Chipmunks Meets the Wolfman, Van Helsing, and the House of Wolfman. Some people have already watched the early screenings of Wolfman and given their review. Let's take a look at what these people are saying about the Wolfman. Anthony writes, "Wolfman is scary and heartwarming. Some of the best jump scares I've had watching a horror movie in a while. The prosthetics are insane, the acting is great, but the amount of times I had to close my eyes in fear, disgust, is what stuck with me leaving the theater." I gotta say, that's a big hype up from Anthony. Best jump scares? Closing your eyes in fear and disgust? Tessa Smith from Mama's Geeky writes, "Wolfman is not just terrifying, it packs an emotional punch. I found myself jumping out of my skin and then shedding tears. The acting is top notch, and the cinematography is insane. The way the camera switches POVs provides a masterclass in horror. I loved it." So it looks like it's scary and emotional. What more can you ask for in a horror movie? Rachel writes, "Wolfman will leave you afraid of the dark. Watched this movie with my feet up in the air because I was terrified of what could grab my ankles. Just a suspenseful thrill from start to finish. Christopher Abbott is a star, and I love him so much." Now that's quite a glazing from Rachel. Guys, sounds like we better be working on our core strength and doing some squats to be able to keep up our legs during the Wolfman's whole 1 hour and 43 minutes runtime. Watching Wolfman might turn out to be some new workout for core and legs. Andrew writes, "Lee Winnell's Wolfman is a pulse-pounding, super fun take on the classic werewolf cinema. Less is more in this effective tale of generational guilt. The infected Wolfman design also works far better on screen." It's actually good to hear that the Wolfman design looks better on screen than what we saw in the previews. That hashtag show writes, "Wolfman is some of the most excellent horror in recent memory. A slow transformation will sicken you, but it tells a story that packs a familial punch. A great cast highlights an utterly terrifying film." Hunter writes, "Wolfman is everything that I wanted and then some. A truly excellent horror film that gives you bloody horror, familiar horror, and some gruesome effects. The entire cast is excellent, but Christopher Abbott takes it up to another level as a classic character." Benjamin writes, "The Wolfman movie howls with raw emotion and haunting intimacy. Lee Winnell crafts a storm of grief and ferocity echoing the shadowy elegance of The Invisible Man. If that film resonated with you, The Wolfman will leave its mark just as deeply." I actually did enjoy The Invisible Man, so this is good to know. Peter writes, 2025 is off to a great start with the Wolfman movie. Lee Winnell trims all the fat and lays out a tense, no-nonsense thriller that wraps its animistic telling in a story about relationship dynamics, loss, and generational trauma. Pristine sound and design, and organic scares all around. Nick writes, "Wolfman is a tense, straightforward thriller that sees Christopher Abbott unleash the battle between human and animal through his strong performance. Julia Garner is the heart and humanity of the drama. Lee Winnell's insane visual and auditory creativity is amazing." Griffith writes, "Lee Winnell continues to be the master of space and sound with the Wolfman movie. A damn good reimagining that plays like The Shining by the way of The Fly. A claustrophobic parental panic attack with nasty body horror and a surprising amount of heart. If you enjoyed The Invisible Man, you'll dig this." So the early reviews seem pretty positive, with the movie being described as both scary and heartwarming. But I'm usually a bit more cautious when it comes to reviews from people invited to advanced screenings. Those that are invited to these are often more likely to give a glowing review, regardless of their true opinion. But if the film lives up to what the critics are saying right now, we could be looking at a strong start for the 2025 box office. The movie already looks pretty good based on the trailers, and I'm definitely planning to catch it when it comes out. Are you guys excited for Wolfman? Let me know in the comments.